The stock market was back in the green today, and the S&P 500 was up 1.07%. Almost everything was green across the board. And days like this are the real test for income ETFs. Because when the market rallies, you want to see if your income funds are capable of participating in that upside. It's not enough to just collect high distributions. The real strength of a fund shows when it can recover part of those payouts through price appreciation, instead of slowly bleeding away its value over time. ULTY closed at $5.18, up about 0.58% on the day. WPay, on the other hand, had a stronger showing. It finished at $53.87, up 2.3%. And on top of that, it announced another 73-cent weekly distribution. What's interesting here is that WPay's payouts have been gradually stabilizing. We've seen it move from 5 cents to 8 cents, then 7, another 8, and now back to 7 cents. That pattern is telling us something important. It's finding its rhythm. At this point, the fund's distributions are normalizing around a 70% annualized forward yield, almost similar to what ULTY distributes, but WPay is not capping your upside. That's actually more impressive than I initially expected when I said that WPay would likely outperform ULTY. Because it's one thing to pay income, it's another thing entirely to pay it while still allowing the share price to recover. That balance between yield and price resilience is what separates a great income ETF from one that just looks good on paper. Now, this isn't just about a single day's performance, it's about how these funds recover after paying out distributions. When an income ETF distributes weekly or monthly, it's literally taking part of its NAV and sending it to investors. Over time, if that fund can't regain some of that value, you're watching NAV erosion in action. That's what happens with high-yield ETFs that pay 70%, 80%, or even 100% annualized yields, but then slowly see their share price decline over time. High payouts look nice on paper, but if the fund can't rebuild, you're just being returned your own money, literally. This is why recovery matters. WPay climbing 2.3% on a day like today shows it's not just handing out income, it's actively rebuilding NAV. The fund is paying investors from performance, not simply draining its capital. ULTY, on the other hand, barely moved. 0.58% today, and it didn't even match the S&P 500. That's the exact type of behavior you don't want in a high-income fund. You want your distributions supported by market performance, not quietly eroding the value of your shares. Think about it this way. If a fund pays you $1 in income but loses that dollar in NAV, you didn't really make anything. But if it pays you $1 and recovers half or more in market value, that's how compounding starts to work in your favor. I'm genuinely curious what investors in ULTY think about this. When you look at WPay, it's just structured so much better, from the quality of the underlying holdings to the strategy the fund employs. I mean, seriously, just look at these holdings side by side. If someone came to you and said, "Here are two baskets of stocks. Which one would you rather hold long-term and feel comfortable sleeping at night?" Would you really pick the holdings in ULTY? ULTY is composed mostly of newer, highly speculative tech, fintech, and growth names. Stocks like Affirm, Lucid, Hims, QUBT, and Rocket Labs are very volatile. Their share prices can swing 20 to 50% in a single week. These companies have limited track records, and many are not profitable yet. That makes this group far riskier, especially for income-focused strategies. While their potential upside is high, they lack consistency and have higher failure risk. Now compare that to the holdings inside WPay. It's a balanced mix of established mega-cap tech names and a few crypto-adjacent plays. You've got Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, and Nvidia, companies with decades of proven performance, strong cash flows, and the track record of carrying or even outperforming the S&P 500 over the last 10 to 20 years. Even the more volatile names in this basket, Tesla, MicroStrategy, and Coinbase, are still far more established than most of what's inside ULTY. The majority of these companies have long-term histories of compounding growth, consistent revenue, and massive market caps. They've been the true engine driving the S&P 500's returns for more than a decade. Sure, a few holdings like MicroStrategy, Coinbase, Palantir, and Robinhood fall into the less proven or speculative category, but even those are quickly maturing into dominant players within their industries. And here's the key takeaway. If your goal is income, the quality of the underlying stocks matters. WPay simply sits on a stronger foundation. These are proven, liquid, and fundamentally solid companies. That means they're more likely to recover after distributions, maintain their NAV, and deliver predictable long-term growth. ULTY, on the other hand, might offer higher short-term income because of the elevated option premiums on its riskier holdings. But the price volatility cuts both ways. That risk can eat away at total returns over time. And now that WPay's payouts are starting to close in on ULTYs, while also capturing more upside when the market rallies, it's becoming a no-brainer. Quality and structure are starting to show their advantage. Over the weekend, Roundhill made a pretty interesting announcement. They're launching 4 new weekly pay ETFs. And I have to say, I'm genuinely excited about these additions. The new names are Alibaba, Arm Holdings, Costco, and Uber. Each of these companies brings something unique to the lineup, from global e-commerce exposure with Alibaba, to cutting-edge chip design with Arm, consistent retail strength with Costco, and growth in mobility and logistics through Uber. It's not yet clear whether any of these new ETFs will be added to WPay's portfolio, but that's the part I'm most curious about. If Roundhill decides to include even 1 or 2 of these names in WPay, it could slightly shift the fund's balance toward more global and diversified growth exposure. For now, we'll just have to wait and see how Roundhill structures it, but this is definitely an exciting development for income investors following the weekly pay lineup. A lot of investors are turning to WPay as their go-to income investment product, and honestly, I can see why. Roundhill just has a better product lineup in my opinion. They've built a track record of launching products that income investors consistently speak highly about, and WPay is continuing that trend. If you found any value in this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. And if you've sold your ULTY and made the switch to WPay, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments. Your feedback really helps shape these discussions for the entire community. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.